Hello everyone, today we're talking about The Dark Knight Rises. The movie has two incredible ideologies that are hyper applicable and can improve your life. One is about how to get out of a rut, gain more motivation, or achieve your goals. The other is about the philosophy of Batman. So I will be diving deep into the themes of the movie and will also tell what I love about it. Let's get right into it. So one of the biggest causes for a lack of motivation is a feeling of apathy. This is exactly what Bruce is going through in The Dark Knight Rises. In The Dark Knight, Bruce sacrificed himself to be guilty for Harvey's death and lost his will to continue the crusade. Rachel died on his watch and Gotham only got worse because of the Batman, as the Joker was a product of his existence. The Dark Knight killed his spirit and he becomes purposeless for 8 years. He doesn't leave the house and he feels like there's nothing out there for him. On the other side, however, Gotham has become a better place after Batman took the blame. The streets are clean and there isn't a lot of crime anymore. But what The Dark Knight Rises does really well in my opinion is to question the choice of Batman taking the blame. Yes, the streets are cleaner, but Commissioner Gordon doesn't like the fact that Gotham lives on a lie. There's another character who doesn't like this, which is Agent John Blake. John Blake is one of the strongest characters of the trilogy in my opinion. He's also one of the few who dislike the choice of Batman lying and leaving, because Batman meant something to him. He then visits Bruce and tells him the Batman is needed again. I really like the scene where John confesses his struggle and how he relates to his parents' death.
I figured it out too late. You gotta learn to hide the anger. Practice smiling in the mirror. It's like putting on a mask.
This gets Bruce to change. He starts to get the drive to become Batman again. This chase scene where Batman returns is freaking fantastic, by the way. But just because Bruce wears the Batman suit again doesn't mean he's the Batman he used to be. Something doesn't line up with his spirit and it shows in his characteristics. He acts reckless, arrogant and is super inconsiderate. Alfred tells him this and he tells him that Bane is a dangerous threat. Bruce is so apathetic and irrational that he doesn't even want to consider the danger of him dying.
What about when you come up against him? What then?
I'll fight harder, I always have.
Take a look. His speed, his ferocity, his training. I see the power of belief.
It's the power of belief that Bane has and Bruce lacks. Bruce feels like nothing is out there worth fighting for, which makes him fearless. He thinks it makes him stronger, but it really doesn't. This gets solidified when he is about to fight Bane, because the fight doesn't go well for Bruce, and you can clearly see how much Bane outmatches him, both physically and mentally.
You fight like a younger man. There's nothing held back.
I like how brutal and realistic this fight is. At the end, Bruce has completely lost when Bane breaks his back, and when Bane imprisons him, he sees the fearlessness in him.
Why didn't you just kill me? You don't fear death. You welcome it.
If you look at our demotivation when it comes to achieving our goals or our drive in general, fear also plays a huge role. A lot of things we want to work on start from a place of fear. Studying can start from a fear of failing. Working on your dreams can start from a fear of inactivity and not achieving your goals. But sometimes the problem with our motivation is that we don't fear anything as well. Sometimes we suppress that fear or are apathetic like Bruce and we say stuff like we'll figure it out or we'll do it later. We either forget as life gets in the way, or we become apathetic, or we sugarcoat the fact that we're not working on our goals. So when there's no fear, there's no drive either. The third act of the movie dives deeper into the correlation between fear and drive. Bruce gets locked up in the worst prison on earth. He tries to escape, but the same concept plays out. He tries to climb out with a rope, having nothing to lose when he fails, so he fails multiple times. The rope is symbolic for the fact that Bruce thinks he has nothing to lose, that his life is worth nothing, and that he's quite suicidal. So when he tries to climb out of the pit, there's nothing bad that can happen. That goes for this scene, but also for the whole movie. Then one of the prisoners in the cell tells him something that can get him out of his rut, which is also the pillar for us to find drive again.
You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. It makes you weak. How can you move faster than possible? Fight longer than possible without the most powerful impulse of the spirit, the fear of death.
I've never heard something more sharp and motivating. Bruce spends the whole movie moving away from fear, but for him to fully find spirit again, he has to be honest about his fears and welcome it. He does this by climbing without the rope.
I do fear death. I fear dying in here. While my city burns. There's no one there to save it.
Then make the climb. Without the rope. Then fear will find you again.
The pillar of finding drive and motivation is realizing that we have something to lose if we don't succeed. That's the power of fear. For Bruce, it is dying. For us, it can be the worst kind of consequence that is related to our goal. It's fear of that negative consequence that can truly get you going. And it has to be with honesty. No sugarcoating things where you can fall back on. No, we have to remove the rope. Just like Bruce will, and only when he does this and faces fear, he can truly rise.
What does that mean?
Rise.
And so can we. By removing the rope, you can ask yourself, what do you fear when it comes to the things you want to pursue? If it's career related, it's the fear of failure or ending up in a job you don't like. If it's working out, it's the fear of health issues or not feeling great in your skin. Whatever it is, you always have something to lose. You have something to fear, and use that. Just like Bruce does in this absolutely amazing and epic scene. One detail I absolutely love is how the bats reappear, symbolizing how the Batman is born again. I love how the cinematography gives a clear distinguishment between the pit of the bats Bruce fell in and this pit. The pit of the bats is grey, it's unclear, there's no definitive outlook. This pit is day versus night, it's disparity versus hope. It's Bruce finally climbing out of the pit he never left. And after this, Bruce takes a leap of faith and makes a jump. The Dark Knight has risen and is born again. This is literally the most Batman scene. It doesn't get any more Batman than this. When Bruce returns to Gotham, it takes us to the next amazing message of The Dark Knight Rises that is also super applicable in our lives, which is the symbol that Batman inspires to the people of Gotham, the symbol of rising. After Batman returns, the city's courage and spirits have been lifted. Everyone is more willing to fight. Even Batman is more willing when he fights Bane in this great battle. One tiny but very significant detail this gets displayed is when Blake needs to lead the kids. I may be reaching here, but he tells everyone to get in the bus except for one group. One of the kids was a fan of Batman, so this group has to help out and spread the word. That's just so cool to me because it just means that people who have been inspired by Batman are fit to help out and do the courageous thing.
Is he back?
Your eyes off the dog.
All of this is so in line with the idea of Batman and his final act. Batman is about to sacrifice himself and become the true hero of Gotham. Gordon tells him that the people of Gotham need to know who saved the city, so Batman tells him this inspiring ideology.
But shouldn't the people know the hero who saved them?
A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know the world hadn't ended.
This ties to the idea of Batman. Batman has always been about becoming a symbol and causing inception, which is funny considering Nolan's other movie is called Inception and is also about inception. His acts of heroism cause the city to be better. He sees heroism in the smallest acts like putting a coat on a young kid's shoulder, as it gives the idea that people are still good, that life can be good, that the world doesn't end and that the heroes still exist. After Batman's sacrifice, this gets taken to a whole new level, when the city has become inspired by Batman. Gordon is in a good state, Wayne Manor has become a place to help orphans, and kids have become inspired. Also, Bruce finally got his happy ending, which is amazing. A very satisfying finale to his character arc. And most importantly, the idea of Batman has been inspired for Robin to become Batman and for him and Gotham to rise. I'm a huge fan of the idea of Batman's inception, and I think that it's incredibly applicable. Being a hero is incredibly easy because you can put an idea in someone's head just by being a good person or just by one simple act, as it causes an inception. Whether that is helping someone out in need, giving charity, donating to the homeless, or making someone feel good on a bad day. Especially if it's a good deed that isn't expected or it goes beyond the status quo of how people behave, then it will really make an impact. Because it's not exactly about the act, but it's about the symbol you inspire. When you help someone who isn't used to people being nice to them. When you ask someone how they're doing, you carefully listen and you inspire the symbol of love. When you stand up to do what is right and you inspire the symbol of courage and that people are still good. The symbol of the fact that anyone can be a hero and that anyone can be Batman. And that we can strive to do better. Just like this movie inspired me to think and act differently.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting.
So yeah, do something good today. Start doing more good in the world and see what kind of impact you can have on people. If you want to do something good and create inception, you can drop me a like, because when you do, YouTube will recommend this video to other people, more people will know about this mindset, more people get help, and it all becomes a huge chain reaction. So by sharing and liking this video, you can basically become Batman. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is blackmailing. And if you would like to regularly get inspired by superheroes and improve your life, hit the subscribe button to stay notified. Check out my other Batman videos if you're interested. They also have great insights on the character and motivating mindsets. Let me know if you have any thoughts about this mindset or what you think of The Dark Knight Rises, or just if you want to say something interesting or nice. My next video is gonna be about Superman, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.
Night, General.